My God, I'm getting chased by so many horseflies. Ah! Nah, psych. Hey everyone, I'm Mike and welcome to the channel. Today my wife and I are down by Port Mahon, which is an historical port off the Delaware Bay. We're going to walk around, show you some sights, do a little adventuring. Hopefully the horseflies don't carry us away, but it looks like there's a lot of dragonflies out right now, so that's good for us. Okay, so here we are down by the shore, and today I'm going to get to try out our new GoPro for the channel, the GoPro 10. I'm using a plug-in mic because it's a little windy and I'm hoping it's not too bad. I've even got it shielded a little bit. But here's a lot of the, as you can see, a lot of the old debris from the old lighthouses that were out here. Also from the old, well, just structure along the way. A lot of old busted up concrete. Beautiful view today. We're gonna take a walk along and let you guys enjoy the view, but it is really nice out here. Really nice. And dragonflies are everywhere. That's what we love to see. Just gotta make sure my footing's good. One thing I like about the GoPro already is I don't have to worry about a lot of juggling and jibbling of the camera. I can concentrate more on my hiking and everything else I need to do. But a brief history, I'll give that in a little bit when we're not in such a windy area. Let's take a look at some more of these dragonflies. Everywhere, look at all that debris. What a fisherman coming in. Really nice. Walk along this debris. Oh, I hope that wind is being blocked today. Ugh, a lot of old concrete. Just got to watch my footing. A lot of rebar. Port Mahon today is basically used by a lot of adventurers. A lot of people who love the shore, love being around out in nature. A lot of bird watchers and photography clubs come down here. Matter of fact, there's one over there right now. I don't know if you can see them off in the distance, but they're over there. It's a photography class. They come down here a lot. There's type of groups, and they've got a lot of stuff to take photography of. We've got a nest over there, up in the old, that's an old pier pylon that's left. And of course, along the Delaware Bay, we are known a lot for horseshoe crabs. I think we missed the horseshoe crab spawning season. I wish I'd have remembered the date. I would have loved to take you guys on the shore to see that. Although I can pretty much guarantee the horseflies would have carried us away. But if anyone's not familiar with what horseshoe crabs look like, there's a poor guy here who didn't make it because a lot of them, when they come up through the bay, well, they can't get back out because of the debris. They're small. I'm not sure if the horseshoe crab is considered an arachnid or crab. I have to look at that up. I'll put it up in here and text. That's one little bit of research I'm going to have to do. But here's one right here. I didn't make it. I'll show you what they look like for those who aren't familiar with them. Now, this poor guy didn't. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This poor guy didn't make it. You see, he's been here a while. It's actually dried out. You can see the legs underneath. And that's what they look like. Now this one's a small one. He's just about the size of my hand, but they'll get up to about that size. Roughly almost, probably about 16 inches in width. And if we get to see some alive, I'll show you. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to today. Oh, here's a big brother over here that didn't make it. Nothing left of him, just what is a shell. Now, depending on what time you come out here, when the tide is in and out, you can see how a lot of this is covered when the tide's in. And it gives you a little bit more exploring room. But you can see some of the things. You can see they get washed up in the surf and caught in the rocks. Look at all that green algae on all the bits and chunks of concrete. There's even an old brick. While I'm sitting here, I want to stay as still as I can, or be as still as I can, because I want you guys to see all the dragonflies that are around. Wow, they are heavily populated, and that's probably the reason why I have not been bitten or bothered by one horsefly today, which I'll take. But anyone's welcome. It's open to the public. You can come out along the Delaware Bay, Port Mahon, rest, fish. One of these days I'm gonna set up over here, spend the day hanging out with you guys. We'll go over there and hike and explore in a little bit. Now a lot of these you're gonna see here along the rubble. I'm gonna try to get out of the shadow so you guys can see it more, but I'll show you exactly what these are. You won't believe it. A lot of those remnants we see from those concrete cylinders are the bases of where the lighting used to be down here. And this one still has the base of one of the poles attached to it. Of course, it's aluminum, so it doesn't rust, but of course the steel bolts do. But they're littered all over. And some of these, like I said, some of these go back to the 1900s, 1930s. Also down here, I left my GoPro up there, but my wife so brilliantly reminded me that I have my other phone with me. But down here, and this is usually underwater, some of the old original steel link chain with cables attached to it. One's even still tied to an old, as you can see, an old pier pylon. Amazing, a lot of rebar sticking up, so you have to be careful. Hey, but this is what adventuring's about. This right here, my wife pointed out, we came in down and checked. I'm gonna try to talk close to the mic. This is an old steel ramp that used to drop down off the pier that makes it so people could ride up onto the pier itself from the ground. Also probably for their boats, to lower the boats down, but it's only part of it. Other parts broken off, but you got a lot of old rope. Amazing what it looks like down here. Came up on this mammoth mega structure, which is left of something off the pier. Big capital D it looks like, but of course it's not a letter. Still remnants of the old decks and piers that used to be down here. Port Mahon, when it was, as far as back I can go in history, Port Mahon was known for its oyster industry. This was oyster farming and oyster industry, fishing off here. Of course, the crabbing too. And from what I know from the history records, researching it and checking that all out, because it gets grayed over time about actually what happened to this area, because all you can see now are remnants of the past. But in the early 1900s, they don't give you a specific time, there was an oyster disease that came through and basically wiped out the oyster industry in the port. And as that changed over time, of course, fishermen and crabbers had to go other places, and so did the industry. It followed them, and it slowly started to decline over the years. I'm going to take and show you where some of the original lighthouses were, because the only thing left now are the pilings that it was on top of. As the bay came in, everything was abandoned, and I don't remember when. I'll put up if I do find out that the lighthouse was left standing, and then it caught fire, I forget how many years ago, and that was one of the last structures that was out here. And then I know one of the community colleges took it over for aquatic research and stuff like that. And then later, through what I'm learning, is the federal government now runs a lot of this area and maintains it, keeps it, because they pipe jet fuel for the base, which is close by from the port. So they maintain it. They've rebuilt the fishing pier several times due to storms wiping it out, and they make sure that the large rock, which is called I think it's RipRap, is protects the road, although storms do wash it out from time to time. But we're going to take you to another couple of our favorite areas. We're going to do a lot more adventuring, because my wife and I, we never get enough of it, so why not take you guys along with us, give you a little history of the Delaware Bay. Another one of the smaller ones. This is his big brother. Of course, he didn't make it, but that's what happens. They get trapped up here in the large rocks. It's, you know, it's hard to maneuver them with your feet alone. I can imagine having to swim across it. And now, as you can see, I'm staring at where the original lighthouse used to stand down here. Matter of fact, it wasn't the original. The lighthouse has been moved 3 or 4 times due to the bay moving, creeping in, but this was the last place there was a lighthouse, and as you can see, the pilings are the only things that's left. But we're going to do a lot of exploring along here and see what we see, because we never get tired of it. But I got to work myself down slowly but surely. There's a lot of rocks, a lot of loose rocks, and I have great balance. I can tell you one thing, all the times I've been down here at the shore, this has got to be one of the busiest days I've ever seen. I feel like I'm along a major highway, not along the bay. It's like 30 or 40 cars have been down here already today. And they're exploring and checking it out, that's for sure. They're seeing what's what. Which I can't blame them, but as soon as that temperature drops to about as soon as that temperature drops about 50 degrees with 40-mile-an-hour winds down here and maybe a 20-degree wind chill, yeah, my wife and I will be the only ones. We'll be the only ones down here, won't we, baby? Tell them. These are all fair weather explorers. We come out in all types of weather. So we're gonna go down these rocks a little bit, take you guys along with me. But I do like this GoPro. I can't wait to see the footage. I can't wait to see which setting I should have it on, because of course we all know the GoPro, the amazing quality it is, the action, the views it can give you, and so on and so on. But I have to use it for filming, going on adventures, because I couldn't see myself getting a really expensive $700,000-$800,000 camera yet and taking that along and something happened to it. I'd probably be sick to my stomach. But I do have my eyes on the Sony, I think it's the ZV-E10 or something like that, or E1. When I do get an actual camera like that, that's what I'll go with. But I'll still use the GoPro because I can get angles like I can't get, the action, the quality. GoPro really stepped it up with the GoPro 10. Sorry I'm looking down, guys, but if I don't, I could fall. Take you guys down here along shore with me. Amazing. And as you can see, I'm hiking right along the old RipRap that's up there. Keeps the bay from coming in and destroying the road. All it does do it from time to time during storms. Like I said, another truck. Unreal how many people are down here today. Now, my wife and I usually are lone adventurers. We want to have the places to ourselves, and we will soon. But as long as they're respecting it and taking care of it, hey, I say let everybody come on down. It's funny because when you're down here, sometimes these rocks look like they're part of some kind of megalithic structure. I mean, look at the size of this bad boy. That thing is huge. Some of them are really big. Some of these rocks are really big. But you can still see remnants of the old ramps. There's some remnants of the old ramp right along here. Imagine everything those boards have seen. Okay, I'm going to sit here and record a little bit. I want you guys to see what I can see. This is the most dragonflies I've ever been around. I'm trying to give you guys a good view. And of course, they get camera shy. Probably because I'm walking, I stir them up. Let me see if I can walk a little bit. Man, talk about a nice view. I know, right? Now, I'm really happy with the dexterity and diversity of this GoPro. It works great. Learning what I can do with it. But I'll see it in post edit. But my wife told me to come down here and check it out. She saw some, maybe some fox scat might be down here, because there are some fox dens back here. We've come across foxes many times. But also I want you guys to walk down here and see some things. Check this out. Wow. I wouldn't want to step on that. Man, look at that. Now tell me if you couldn't rescue that. That wouldn't make an awesome seat in your backyard around a fire pit. Whew, don't give me ideas. Matter of fact, you could cut that in sections. It'd be awesome. And then here's the, this will also give you some history of what all these concrete slabs are you see along here. And they're all basically remnants of the old ones. You can see how this is all here, and matter of fact, there's still some ramp stuff up here you can see, and that's what I've been finding. That's what this whole port is littered with, is the old concrete slabs from the old decks. But I hope you can see all the dragonflies right there. Look at them all. Crazy. I'm staring at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, maybe 30 of them. Man, my wife and I never get enough of being down here. I love it. Thought I'd share this with you because not a lot of people have a bay right off them that they can explore anytime they want. But that's one little small thing about Delaware we like. You're always near a bay or the ocean. Okay, now my wife and I are at one of our favorite places we like to go to when we come down here and explore. One of the best intact concrete structures left from one of the old piers. And it is amazing to walk on, although there is a lot of graffiti. I'm sure you guys know you can't go anywhere without someone coming along and messing it up with graffiti. They could at least be a little bit more artistic, couldn't they? They go to an art school, learn to make it decorative. But you know, profanities and genitalia, that kind of gets old after you've seen that for 30 or 40 years, guys. Come on. Nah, but seriously, quit it. We don't need to see that crap. But still, some of the old poles still exist. Take you guys a long walk for me. This is where my wife and I, when we came one time, we had the encounter with the fox that came right up on us. I mean, literally within 2 feet of both of us. We were both in awe, but it was looking for food because, as you can see, I'll pan around here so you can see, when people come up a lot, they leave some, well, I can't see it right now, it's too overgrown, but over in here, there is a lot of trash that the people have dumped over the years, and of course they come and scavenge for food. Amazing. But yeah, we come down here a lot. Please excuse the profanity, guys, if I happen to scroll across it and you see it. But walk along this real quick. Now this is where I like having a GoPro. I've done this with my phone, but it gets a little awkward. And believe it or not, the GoPro does make it a little more scary. I do have pretty good balance, but you have to watch structures like this because, see, this is all cracked. Now I don't know if that concrete's flaked or not, so I'm not going to push it. But that's what we love. We come out here a lot of times and we are all alone. And now that the horsefly season is pretty much over with, we're going to take you guys along a lot of the places that we like to go to along the shore, some of the great areas that we'd like to hike and explore. There's a lot of neat things in there, and we're going to visit soon I'm not sure if we're going to get to do that today or another hike, but there is an old abandoned graveyard, a family graveyard, way back on one of the wildlife refuge areas that my wife and I have been on. Matter of fact, we stealth camped near it one time, and I might do a stealth camp near it again. And I'm hoping that the family or maybe some conservatory has come along and cleaned it up. But yeah, this is one of our favorite areas to come along and hike, and I'm gonna go along those rocks in a minute, see what we can see. Now, Port Mahon used to have actual beaches. I mean, there were actually beaches that families and stuff could come on. But of course, where this is located over years from storm damage and some of the hurricanes that have come through or up the coast, although we don't get a lot of them where we're at, the bay actually protects us. But sometimes we do get some bad storms through here. And of course, over 50, 60, 80 years, the storm damage has crept in a little bit, and there's not a lot really of the beaches left, although there are some adventuring areas that you can go to. Some of the beach areas that are actually left are way up on the south side over there, and they get pretty muddy. I'll stop and look at it if it's not too muddy today, but they can get pretty muddy. But we don't have to worry about the horseshoes. We don't have to worry about the horseflies if we go. Okay, I'm gonna take you guys down here. I like to see the view from down here when it's low tide. You can see some really cool stuff from down in here. But it's its own little world. Really cool. You can go venturing and see what we can see. Let's go down here. You might see some things. You never know what you'll see down here, what you'll come across. It does make for some wicked camera angles. You still see some of the, looks like nylon protection it had to keep the concrete together as it rotted or broke apart. Well, concrete doesn't rot, but you know what I mean. As it broke apart, it kept it encapsulated. But that damage, you can come out here and see it, because usually this is under the tide, but now that the tide's out, you can see a lot more. Amazing photography. There are some amazing photography points that you can take out here. Let's go over here. A lot of stuff gets nestled and hauled up inside the rocks. Amazing some of the things that are still left. Check this one out. Because of the camera, I'm going to give you guys an inside view. Not sure what it was. Let's see what it looks like down there. My wife and I like to scour some of these. You can still see there's still a lot of oysters here. Not enough. I'm sure that there's still some oyster fishermen down here, and I know there's crabbers, but that the oyster population is still here. Oyster shells basically are everywhere, among everything. Still find things like this old brick. You wonder when that brick was made. Probably made in the 1900s, early 1900s. I say 1900s like that wasn't just like 20 years ago. Look how some of these bricks over time get polished from the surf and the water. They're all over. They get for shell hunting, you couldn't ask for anything better. There are shells, of course, a lot of oyster shells, but my wife and I have found conch shells down here. Of course, clam shells, crab shells, horseshoe crab shells. You name it, it's down here. Nice piece of driftwood. We'll probably be taking that home with us today. It's so neat when you come out, you still can find interesting historic sites. What's left of one of the old piers. Of course, there's a lot of them out there, out in the bay. Never gets old. Well, thanks for coming and watching the video, everyone. My wife and I really appreciate it. It's one of our little haunts we go to a lot. We spend a lot of time out here. We've brought my kids, my grandkids out here. It's never a dull moment out here. You never know what you'll come across as far as beach combing and just adventuring along the rocks. Just if anyone else does come out here, please be careful. The rocks can get slippery, and there is broken glass and sometimes trash. But as always say, please like, share, and subscribe. It does help the channel, everyone, and I look forward to bringing you guys along with us on many more adventures. As always, I'm out.